Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get into some issues of the death of Elijah Weatherspoon. May he rest in peace. We're going to continue with prayers for his family. We know that there have been a lot of negative and dark things going on in the nation with the killer people running rampant, protesting and whatnot. But I just want to bring this to your attention, bring it to light. We're going to discuss some issues and go over some things because it just doesn't look like a lot of people are as interested in being executing an investigation in a timely manner. Things are going real slow, so we're going to see if we can't help bring some things to light. First of all, Elijah Weatherspoon was an 18-year-old high school graduate, a beast on the football field, from my understanding. And Elijah passed away on June 25th in Mount Pleasant. He went out on a boat with some friends, and the friends came back and he did not. They didn't find his body until 3 days later. Elijah has since been laid to rest, and Tuesday will be 30 days since his death, or really would be, 30 days since they found his body, put it that way. So, and the family really hasn't received a lot of answers. So shout out to the bosses in the chat, shout out to any subscribers and supporters, and a major shout out to John QQ. If you guys don't know who John QQ is, he is a beast on these legal streets, and I'm blessed to have him not only in the chat, but have him supporting me in this story. If you give me a minute, I want to put a little bit of background out there in it, and then I want to bring John on so that he can share in his aspect. Now, the facts of the matter again are that he went out on this boat with his friends. Somehow he went overboard, and he didn't come back. And there have been many different stories as to what happened. Why, why did his body not? Why did no one help him? How did he go overboard? What happened? There are unanswered questions. Now, one of the things that we haven't heard be discussed is, why would anybody want to hurt him? He's on the boat with his friends. They wouldn't let anything happen to him. They're all cool. Well, one of the issues that we've heard is that he had an altercation allegedly with one of the gentlemen on the boat. We won't say any names tonight about who was on that boat and who was not on there. But the fact of the matter is he's supposed to be cool with all of them, right? They had an altercation. Elijah got the best of them allegedly, and time went on. Fast forward, he was invited on the boat. He went. Friends and family tend to suspect, foul play for multiple reasons, and we're going to get into that over the course of time. Let's look at something. Okay, here's a report where it was said that Mount Pleasant Police was called at 11 a.m. to respond to a report of a young man who entered into the water from the boat and never resurfaced. Okay, get this a little bit bigger so you can see it. His friends and family report that the boaters gave conflicting stories about what happened to Elijah. There are reports that he fell and hit his head on a rock, that he fell in the water and a friend tried to save him but failed, that he jumped and refused to get back on the boat before drowning, and more. With all of the conflicting stories afoot, Elijah's loved ones are calling for a thorough investigation. Let's take a look And another. Take a look. Here is another statement from a report. Welcome to any and everyone that's just joining in. Please hit the like button for me, or not, whichever way your spirit leads you. Would appreciate it. Another report says officials with the SCDNR. Now, the SCDNR is South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Okay, and I'm guessing that this is the organization or the official over this area, this voting area that they were participating in. Officials who've been leading the investigation said their information indicated that a young man went off the back of the boat into the water. That sentence doesn't say how he went off the back of the boat, but from first glance, from my spectacles, he went off the back of the boat, leads me to believe he jumped off. At any rate, according to officials, one of the other boys in the boat then went after him, made contact, but could not get him out. Weatherspoon's family said they were launching their own investigation into the incident as well. Now, what I'm hearing from the family is that this incident happened and the partiers continued on about their merry way. And when they finally returned to dock, it was at that point, I guess, that they allegedly called 911, but had left the area. Now, the police and the Coast Guard were not able to find a body on 6/25th, 2020. It wasn't until Sunday, 6/28, when Nicole, here we go. Nicole, and I know I'm not going to butcher her name, Nicole Marcilli. They were at Sullivan's Island, and family and friends are remembering him. His body was recovered at a beach inlet sandbar near Sullivan's Island after being spotted by boaters. It was 9:30 a.m. on Sunday when Nicole Marcilli, her husband, and two friends were docked at the sandbar for their Sunday fun day. They were chatting with another couple about dogs, and everything seemed to be normal. Marcilli says she never could have prepared for how their day turned out. I just hear her friend yelling, "No, dial 911. There's a body in the water." Sunday. The police did their search on the 25th. I found no record of them going back out on the 26th, going back out on the 27th, or going back out on the 28th. I've only found these reports that they searched on the 25th, and it wasn't until that Sunday until the 911 call came in and they found the body. John Q, if you wouldn't mind, King, can you click the link and come up and join me, please, sir? Hey, Anthony McNeil, Super D49, what's up, Connect Dot? Hey, boo. Now, there were 8 people on the boat, plus the driver, who allegedly was 31 years old, a whole adult. I'm really curious as to why that adult didn't radio for help when the incident happened. I'm also very curious as to how, if a person jumped in to get him and wasn't able to get him back on the boat, why nobody else jumped in to help? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know how deep that lake is, but I would suspect that for a boat, depending on the size of the boat, they would not be able to be that close to rocks if it was like a yacht or party boat, party barge. I don't know what the boat looks like. I have not located any pictures of the boat. But to fall and hit his head on the rock in the middle of where they were partying, Yeah, it sounds okay, John. I see you, babe. Okay. Hello, officials D Spot. Hello, hello. Hey, Michelle's daughter. Thank you all for coming. Welcome to the live, and I appreciate you all coming. Please hit the like button for me. Now, WCBD reports that Weatherspoon went missing on June 25th in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, where he was boating with a group of white friends. I don't know about y'all, but that first sentence right there told me a whole lot. Does it really care? Does it really matter what color his friends were? Does it matter if they were Filipino, Vietnamese, Tagalog, Chinese, Japanese, Nigerian, Kenyan, Botswana, Botswana, uh, uh, Wakanda? Does it matter? But it's okay. They made it a point to say he was with a group of white friends. Okay, all right. At around 11 p.m. local time, Mount Police responded to a report of a young male who entered into the water from a boat and never resurfaced. Again, it sounds to me like he went in willingly. Local law enforcement and United States Coast Guard launched a search shortly after, eventually discovering Weatherspoon's body on Sunday in Cooper River in Mount Pleasant. Eventually finding him. Y'all forgive me, but I think y'all know how I am about breaking down statements. I think y'all know how I am. I'm very, very anal about it. They didn't eventually find anything because according to this report right here, Silly and friends called 911 to come and get the body. Not only did they call 911 once, but 20 minutes later, 911 had not arrived and the tide started to roll in. And carry the body back out to the water. So they had to call again and say, hurry up. Hang on, I'm coming. Y'all know how I am with the receipts. Y'all know how I am with the receipts. Marcelli said it took about 20 minutes for the Sullivan's Island Fire and Rescue to reach them on the sandbar. Wait a minute, hold on. Sullivan's Island Fire. Oh, so this beach or this waterway has their own 911. Oh, okay. So Sullivan's has their own 911, but South Carolina sent their police out to this area to investigate. I'm a little confused about who has real authority, but hey, I guess we'll get into it as time goes on. As the tide was rising, his body was starting to be taken away. So we're trying to convey the sensitivity of time to get, his body recovered, according to Marcelli. Marcelli says she can still remember exactly what he was wearing, although shaken by her own experience, her sympathies and concern lie with his family. Now, it was said that, one of the police officers, when they arrived, they kind of made this statement as, what is he doing on my side of town? Like, he black, I'm white, like, boom, it's a race barrier. Why did he cross that line? Well, that's a good question. I didn't know that there was a line. But clearly, if he said that, there must have been. Let's see. Why else would you make a comment like that? That's a little suspect. On a separate petition, because they have one petition that they have over 50,000 signatures on. And on a separate petition, it is alleged that the Mount Pleasant Police Department, has refused to investigate his death in part because he's black. Oh, I wonder where they got that idea from. The petition alleges that a police officer questioned what Elijah was doing on this part of town. I don't know about y'all, but that kind of make me feel get a little tingling in my spirit down there where them collard greens and that fried chicken is sitting. Because you would come to a scene of a death, or in this case, at this time, a missing person, a missing black person, a missing black person that had been entertaining a group of his white friends on a boat. And instead of you being more concerned with how did he get in the water, where did it happen, show us what happened, tell us what happened, your first concern was, what is he doing on this side of town? I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not feeling comfortable with where it's going, but we're gonna ride it out. Now, questions have been asked as to, well, what did the Coast Guard have anything? Why were they there? What did they have anything to do with? Well, I'm going to put this in layman's terms that I understand that hopefully I can convey to you. The police, the local police, the state police, the city highway patrol, they are the law of the land. Okay? Coast Guard are the po-pos over the waterways. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. National Guard and company run the air traffic. Excuse me. I'm sorry, not National Guard. That would be Air Force. I apologize. That would be Air Force. Air Force are the police over the air, the clouds, and the altitudes. They po-po that up there. Coast Guard runs all of the water, and the boys in blue and the brown and the khaki and the green and the gray, they run the land. So the Coast Guard was there to search their territory, i.e. the water. So now on June 25th, in the midnight hour, in the wicked hour, they did not find anything, and everyone went home after the questioning was done. Questioning? You heard me. See, the 7 kids, remaining kids, they were all questioned in a group. Thus, the conflicting stories. See, if you got them back at the police station one by one, those conflicting stories will be documented, stand out like a sore thumb or hot hoe on a period. But see, you question them in a group, and they still couldn't get it together. Now, I'm going to go on and say this. I was trying to hold it, but I ain't going to be able to hold it. Oh, I already gave you a little piece of dinner. That's them emotions starting to bubble down deep. Them emotions of them collard greens, one of the two. Here is the deal. The family feel like the folks just really they're not really feeling it. They're not feeling like nobody really wanted to do any looking. Because 30 days later, and they still don't have any answers. They don't have anything to go on. Nothing. And nobody ain't really breaking their neck to do anything. Okay? Nobody ain't breaking no necks to do anything. So why this? Okay, hang on. Okay, here we go. So of course, they're screaming foul play. Who wouldn't at this time and juncture? The events leading up to his death are unclear and are being treated as if he was just another black man who couldn't swim and drown. And by the way, his family said he could swim like a fish. Okay. Oh yeah, he could swim like a fish. When in fact, he can swim. The people who were with him have stories that do not match up. He fell off the boat and hit his head on a rock. He fell off the boat and his friend tried to save him and couldn't. He jumped off the boat himself and refused to get back in and drown. Again, depending on how big the boat is, you can only be so close to land before the bottom of the boat come in. So you have to back your trailer out into the water to put the boat in, and that's the same way you got to get the boat back up. So him falling out of boat and hit a rock, unless they was parked next to rocks. And again, allegedly, this is a river that all of this transpired in. I would guess that river would be deeper than 6 feet. So filing out of a boat would not give you immediate access to direct contact against the rock. Hey, don't blame me. This just me. This is my way of thinking. I don't know about nobody else. Him falling out of a boat and his friend tried to save him and couldn't. Well, if he could swim, whether he fell out or whether he was pushed out, he'll be all right, right? And if he jumped off and refused to get back in, he's still gonna be all right. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Unless he went over that boat already unconscious, I don't think it was any need for anybody to go in and get nothing, right? Because he can swim. And if he was unconscious and his friend jumped in and couldn't get him up, why didn't somebody go down and help their friend try to get him in? Connect, can you come up, babe? Can you click the link, connect, please? Not the lakes unless they're connected to a river. That's weird already now. Well, allegedly, this was a river. So, I, it's very difficult. Now, we've had statements from the lady who called 911 from the bank, from the sandbar, who actually found the body. Thank you so much, babe, for the cash app. Thank you. We have a statement from her. We have not received a statement from the driver of the boat, who allegedly was a 31-year-old Caucasian man, allegedly, reportedly. Haven't seen any statements from him. I haven't seen any statements from these kids. I haven't even seen any reports that these kids were questioned independently, with or without their family, with or without an attorney. Well, there was a GoFundMe. Shout out to everyone that contributed to that GoFundMe. And they got him buried. They buried him. They laid him to rest. But see, now the family, given all of these different conflicting statements, their family wants a second opinion on that autopsy. So, of course, I would think their next step would be to request a second autopsy from an independent medical examiner, which is not uncommon. That happens a lot whenever there's suspicion of some funny business back there in that office with pen and pad. It's not unusual at all. So, hey, what's going on, John QQ?
Hey, how you doing, BBK?
All right, babe. I'm good. I want you to weigh in. I want to hear your input on this.
Okay. As we spoke before earlier, this whole case doesn't sound right from Jump Street. Most definitely.
Yeah.
It poses more questions than answers at this point. And some people out there, I'm sure the family does, they want to know some answers.
Mm-hmm.
We all do. Mm-hmm. Because this is a situation where you have a young man on a boat, so-called with friends, and working the Kanika Jenkins case. It seems to, that theme seems to be, quite prevalent out there.
Mm-hmm.
So along with friends, and no one seems to know anything. No one has said anything in regards to what happened, how it happened, and who took responsibility for anything. So, we need some answers on this case because it all smells like foul play already.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my take on it.
Yeah. Now, the autopsy was released on July the 6th from the Charleston County coroner. The deputy coroner was Elizabeth Dobbins. 7/6. But somehow the family does not have any record of the autopsy. They don't have any record of a toxicology report. Is that normal, do you think?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the family should be the ones to have obtained the autopsy and the toxicology report once both have been completed. They should have been notified, especially if they are represented by an attorney. That attorney should have gotten that information right away and had given it to the family, reviewed it with the family, to determine whether any other legal steps should be taken. So yeah, they should have gotten that information right away.
Now, let me ask you something else, John. Now, being an attorney representing the family and or the child's estate, et cetera, um, does he have any rights to, if those kids were questioned independently and separately and individually with or without counsel, does the family's attorney have any rights to those depositions?
Yeah, the family should have access to those, any statements that were made in support of the claim of accidental death or any kind of accident should be accompanied with that information, especially if there's been an autopsy and a toxicology report completed. The attorney should request that information and also obtain any other statements or information that he deems necessary, such as police radio calls to the scene, calls that were made out to the Coast Guard if they were involved, calls made out to any police officials that were directly involved with the first call, or any continuous calls to that location during the time of the incident, and a host of other things. So yes.
Now, the the autopsy allegedly stated um, that he died from asphyxiation due to drowning. Now, if they were trying to turn that into their insurance company for whatever reason, their life insurance company, um, wouldn't that be like a part of their paperwork that they need to turn in, or is it just like a death certificate for that? Do you know anything about that?
Say again.
If they were trying to file a life insurance claim, wouldn't they need an autopsy report or maybe a death certificate or something to do that?
Yeah, they would definitely need that information, especially on an insurance claim.
Wow. So this lawyer just is kind of again dragging his feet, which is making everyone very anxious and antsy, and just it just doesn't have a good look. Now, one of the things that I noticed in my research that I haven't finished, um, and by the way, not only was the Department of Natural Resources in the lead investigator, but the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division was also. Now, hopefully, you can shed some light on this, because with these boundaries, these city lines, county lines, state lines, I get confused. But what I saw was that when Nicole, the sandbar lady, when they found the body, let me find it. When they found the body, they called 911, and it was a different 911. Um, and I'm confused. Okay, here we go. They called 911 and got Sullivan's Island Fire and Rescue. Is that like a separate police department from the South Carolina Police Department?
That's a very good question. It's a very good question. Could be auxiliary emergency that was notified.
Oh, okay. So then, if they dialed 911 and got the auxiliary department, how did South Carolina, excuse me, yeah, South Carolina, how did they get notified? Do you know?
Once again, that's another very good question.
Hmm.
And that would go back to any radio calls that went out at that time since the 911 call. So that's going to be some very critical information to obtain in order to find out how these folks got involved.
Now, I'm, I'm, we know Nicole and her people called the Popos on Sunday. We're not really too sure. There is some confusion as to who called the police on the night of the incident. One thing that's clear in my research is that that 911 call came from someone other than the person driving the boat, who again is alleged to be a 31-year-old male. Did he not like break some kind of boat captain of the boat rule by not dialing 911 when it happened on his boat?
Good question. You know, as captain of a boat, you are responsible for all parties on board. And if there was a situation which resulted into an emergency situation, and he failed to radio call the police at that time, well, yes, he's going to, definitely take responsibility for his failure to do so if that's what happened, or anyone on the boat failed to call 911 directly because of an order the captain may have given because of the emergency. So there's a number of variables here as to the people on the boat and the reason why this incident occurred, because those are the ones that were there. And so, it would stand to reason that they know what happened.
Wow. Now, in the process of all of this stuff happening, it took 3 days to find his body. It took another week for the autopsy results to come out. At some point during this time frame, Representative Marvin Pendarvis stepped up to the plate, calling for action, calling for a thorough and expedient investigation, and asking the police, basically in layman's terms, to do the right thing. I've seen that happen in a couple of different cases, but I'm a little I'm, I'm struggling here. I'm a little
Yeah.
confused as to what makes the representative step up. Like, could it be that he has some kind of connection to the family? Could it be another political connection of some sort that could be causing a hindrance? And the reason I ask this question, because it's been alleged that Elijah, better known as Nikki, the person who he mollywalked, was a so-called friend or associate of his by the name of Josh Shafer. And I also noticed that the deputy coroner name is Elizabeth Dobbins. Now, if my mind recalls correctly, I think there is a political affiliation between the two names in South Carolina. So, I'm trying to look for what made the representative step up to the plate, or was he? You know what I'm saying? Do you know where I'm trying to go? I'm trying to find the words, but.
Right. Well, this case definitely, by all means needs to be investigated, and it needs to be investigated thoroughly. If a person falls off a ship and there are 7, 8 people as a crew on board, witnesses this, or even 3 witness it, that right there says there's an emergency, and someone has to take the lead in regards to remedying that emergency. As far as any other representative, I haven't gotten into details as of yet, but I'm looking into specific pieces of information to pull together. I was just notified just a moment ago that the autopsy was read. It seems like the autopsy was received, and it read what it said, and it said that there was no head trauma. That they definitely know. It's the toxicology report that they're still waiting for, and that's going to determine what was in his system at the time to determine any kind of further information regarding an accident or anything else. But according to what the autopsy report had revealed, it stated that there was no head trauma, according to the medical examiner who performed the autopsy. I just got that about a minute and a half ago.
Okay. Well, that's definitely a good thing
Yeah,
because him falling or being pushed off a boat unconscious, in my mind, is the only reason uh, he was unable to get back on that boat or swim to shore. Anyway, he hit that water in a conscious state and not an altered state or drug induced state or something of that nature. By him being an avid swimmer, according to the family, there's no reason for me to believe why he was unable to get back on the boat or get to
right.
shore. So,
I agree with you. I agree with you. And therefore, hence the toxicology report's going to tell us a lot as to what was in his system, if there was any kind of medication that he may have been on for any kind of current ailments that he may have suffered from. It could have been a number of different things, but the toxicology report will reveal, any kind of medication that he might have been on, and or any kind of other drug that may have impaired him from perhaps swimming, and coming back to the boat after he fell off. So that's going to be a very important, critical piece of information to get, is the toxicology report. And if the family is listening, that's one important piece of information that really needs to be put on the table ASAP.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, I also have in my notes that it was reported that those kids were in the water for 3 hours before calling 911. I don't know how true that is. I have not gotten a confirmation. Mallory, click the link. Malphite, click the link if you want to come up, babe. I dropped the link for you. Um, 3 hours before calling 911. That's, I mean,
Yeah, that's fishy. That's very fishy. Why be 3 hours out, and you have a person that's overboard in the water and apparently drowned, in how many feet of water? Where were they? Were they close to shore when this happened? Were they in shallow water when it happened? Were they in deep water when it happened? So there's a lot of questions that has to be posed to this, as to the location of this event, what time it actually happened, and the folks on board are, critical to the missing pieces of the puzzle right at this point.
mm-hmm. Hey, Mal, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It might be a lot of noise in the background. I'm actually on the way back to the house.
You, you can turn the camera off if you want, babe. It's all good.
Okay, let me see. All right, that's good.
What you want to add, babe? Talk to us.
The only thing I really want to say, I really appreciate you guys for stepping up and helping me with this. I have a lot on my plate right now, but I knew that you guys would take care of this family. I just feel like it's a bunch of mess going on in South Carolina, and I feel like we just need to step up and help this family get the justice and bring the awareness that they need. They need us,
Yeah.
and a lot of stuff is about to come out. A lot of people are about to be exposed, and no matter comes with it, we ready. We got our guns loaded too. So how y'all want to act?
Right.
Let's do it.
Right. But we hope to not have to go that route because it
Right.
seems that nobody listens to us when we talk calmly and peacefully. It's not until we start burning shit down that they want to, oh, they're angry black woman and
Right.
oh yeah.
On my
Just let's
end is no more of that because this case is another Kendra Johnson's case, and I'm close to that case too, and no more. His mother is still hollering and screaming, fighting for justice for her baby, and it's been years. And I want to get her on board. With this. Whatever routes that she took, I want her help as well. No more. We stopping at Kendra Johnson. No more. We're not having it.
right. Now, one of the things I want to ask you that I noticed is my question is how many GoFundMe's do you guys have? Because I found two. And I know it's a lot of
So
scamming
my
going
understanding
on.
that it should have. From my understanding, it was only one, and that was to raise funds for the funeral. I'm not sure if the family is aware of the other GoFundMe, but there will be another one made so that the family can
Can y'all hear her?
raise
Because I'm having a hard
funds
time.
for
Yeah, she's breaking up.
another independent autopsy needs they need to, move forward in this case. But we will look into that.
Yeah, there should be only one GoFundMe that is established with the family's consent. Any other GoFundMe that pops up should be shut down until the family gives consent for any kind of GoFundMe to be
Correct.
posted. You know, that's
Can y'all hear me
critical
now?
because, yeah, that's critical because once you have a GoFundMe, it should be the mainline GoFundMe. It's a pipeline to the family, you know, regarding funeral expenses or any other expenses that may come. There should not be any other fundraising GoFundMes built around the primary or the principal,
Can
you
y'all
know,
hear me
because,
now?
yeah, I can
Okay,
hear
as
you.
far as that GoFundMe go, if it don't come from me, and if it don't come from that aunt or that or Elijah's mama, don't donate.
Okay, but wait,
Ask us
that's the
first.
problem. Hang on, that's the problem. I've met you now and here, but I don't know you. I don't know the mama. I don't know the auntie. How do we distinguish in the public which GoFundMe is legitimate and which one isn't?
Right.
If you have that link, please send it to me. And I understand that y'all don't know me from a can of paint, but I got a nice following. I've been doing this for 3 years, and then one thing I do not play with is somebody else's money. I don't do that. A
No,
lot
no,
of
no,
people
no,
don't
no,
even do.
baby.
Huh?
No, I'm not accusing you of doing anything.
No,
I'm just
I'm just
saying for
saying.
the people that's trying to donate, how do they
Right.
know which one to give the money to?
So, like I said, if you have that link, send it to me so that I can send it over to the aunt and the mom so they can look over it, and then we can get that page shut down. And then we will also, if I don't know how we can figure out another way so people know that it's legit. If y'all don't see me posted on my page, or if you don't see it posted on the aunt's page, then don't donate.
Then put a copy of your picture up on your avatar so we can see what you look like, or put
Okay.
your face up here so the people can, because right now, we got the blank, so we don't know what you look like.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Do I tap
that's all right.
Y'all can go follow me at Mallory Thornton on Facebook, MALLORY Thornton THORNTON, and I got a bunch of pictures on there. But I'm gonna try to figure out how to put my picture up.
Okay, well, on YouTube, it's gonna be people watching it on YouTube. So if anybody donated the money, if anybody was to hang up from this live and go donate,
I'm gonna put my real name up here.
hang on, and I'm gonna go back here.
I don't see where I can add a picture.
Show display names. So if you go, okay, there it is. I see. Okay, you guys, that's her name. Right
my
there.
name, and I'm trying to figure out how to throw the picture up there.
It is edit avatar. You might have to go out of the studio. Okay.
Photos.
Okay. Hi, boo. Hey, Connect.
Hey, baby. Hey, TT. Can you hear me?
Not good. Not at all. It seemed like you real far away or your volume is down low.
My connection like really bad.
There it is. There, yeah, keep your mouth closed. Now you came up.
Done this before.
Hey, Cindy. Yeah, there goes Siri coming on. I didn't call for you. Okay, so if anybody wants to donate to their GoFundMe or participate, I will put the snapshot of the correct GoFundMe up on a video on this channel so that you guys, when you go to look for it, you will see what it looks. You'll see which one is the right one. Because there are people that are out here creating GoFundMes for issues, deaths, situations. They don't know the people. They have no connection with the people. But because it's a hot topic and an easy way to get money, people are just creating GoFundMes out the woodwork. So we don't want anybody to give from their heart and soul to a legitimate cause and give that money to a scammer.
Right, I agree. And as long as it's done with the family's consent, then yeah, the principal GoFundMe should be established, most definitely.
Now, Mallory, can I ask you something while I got you on? And if you don't want to answer, babe, just say you don't. I totally get it. There she is.
Yes, ma'am. You're fine.
Um, do you know? Okay, so it has been it was alleged that Nikki had to put some hate makers on somebody, and allegedly that individual was a Josh Shafer. Have you heard of that? Do you know anything about that? You on mute, babe.
Excuse me, I'm about to get choked on some juice. I was told. Hold on. Good God. Give me some of that.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. It opens up your
I think I'm
airway.
good. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, I was told that we don't know what the incident was about, but Elijah, roughed him up. He got the best of him. And they lured him to the boat and they did whatever they did. They threw him over the boat. So this is a retaliation of him getting his tail beat. Allegedly. But we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Yes.
Yeah. So see, when you put the facts that are not spoken of, the facts that have not been reported on, written on, or brought to the public, along with the facts and the multiple conflicting stories, and the fact that there was a whole adult 31-year-old driver of the boat, as
Right. That didn't
well
make
as
sense to me at all.
allegedly Josh and others on the boat, it certainly establishes motive in my mind.
It does.
So if it's this much trouble in 30 days to get somebody a toxicology, an autopsy, a death certificate, and all of the things, it sounded to me like maybe y'all chopping and screwing back there. Y'all trying to cover some things. I'm not really sure, but it definitely raises an eyebrow.
But you know what's disturbing to me? Out of everything that I've been heard, when I was told that the lawyer had the opportunity to go on Good Morning America, and he turned it down. That is so disturbing to me. And you're supposed to be representing the family, and you want as much exposure as possible, and you turn that opportunity down.
Now, see, y'all know on my main channel, I'm in jail right now, so that's why we're on the backup channel. But on my main channel, I do conspiracy theories all day, all night long, but usually on heavy hitters. But in this particular case, the first time I heard that the lawyer turned down an opportunity to bring this thing to a national syndicated show and he declined, the first thing came to mind was conspiracy. You scared. Use a puss ass. You don't want to get your license, your reputation, and your clientele. You don't want them to shit on you because you know this investigation is going to cause you to uncover somebody that you really don't want to touch.
Exactly. And then on top of that, it's either that or they sent him to, hush the mama up. Watch her moves, see what she, how she doing, and what the family is saying and what the family is thinking. I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
Right.
So he probably sent to keep tabs on her. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that could be.
And mama can't even talk. But guess what? We can. Mama may not can say nothing. We can. And I got a big mouth.
This is the thing. And here's the thing. I think at this juncture, there could be, all kinds of theories and whatnot. There could be a number of things going on why he's so slow. But here's the deal. When you know better, you do better. So when you know for a fact homeboy dragging his feet, then what you got to do is light a little fire. What you're going to have to do is get him to get all of the paperwork that you need to go forward. before you make any hasty decisions on anything else, if you get my drift.
Right, right.
You can't make no moves on nothing until he file whatever motions that he need to file, whatever subpoenas that he needs to file, whatever questioning that he needs to do, witness statements that he needs to get, 911 calls, toxicology reports, whatever he needs to do, he needs to do that, and he should probably do that within the next 15 days because he's already lost the ability to be expedient.
Correct.
I agree.
So we
See, they,
have I don't know. I don't know. This is gonna be huge.
John, weigh in on some of this for me. Help me out. My mind is spinning fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the attorney hasn't done that already, you have to ask the question, why? You know, especially on information such as autopsy and toxicology reports, from the time that this incident had occurred up until to date. You know, if he still hasn't received any of that information, that poses the question, why?
Mm, 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 mm.
Did
That's
you tell
suspicious
them
in and of
how
itself.
he supposedly
Uh,
had died?
Say again?
I said, did you tell the people how he supposedly had died? Like this, the story the kids gave.
No, go ahead and share them with us.
So the kid said that he went to go take a pee, and after he took a pee, he decides to do a backflip off of the boat. Okay. And then I don't know if you explained the autopsy, but I know from our conversation it said something about him. Well, he was asphyxiated before he jumped off. Was that right, sister? I don't know. I guess we went out.
I lost you for a minute. I couldn't hear nothing. What? Say it again, babe.
No, I was saying, I know when we had talked earlier, they were saying that he was asphyxiated before he jumped, or he got hit in the head before he jumped.
Okay, but I think we just got info, or John just received information that there was no head trauma.
No, there were no head trauma. Okay.
Yeah, there was no head trauma, according to the information I received moments before you joined us.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So he couldn't have been asphyxiated before the jump because then he couldn't jump if
But
he
guess
was
what? Didn't they say
asphyxiated.
that boy jumped in and tried to save him? So how we know that he didn't? They threw him off the boat. They both jumped in the water. He choked them going down.
Well, again, these are all questions that we're trying to get the answers to. And I said, I think maybe before you came in, that based on the family stating he can swim like a fish, it's no
Right,
way he entered that water conscious and was not
right.
able to get back up without something else happening. Now, for them to have reported on one end that a friend jumped in to help him, made contact with him, but could not get him in, now knowing that the other 6 people made no attempt to jump in and help him, that sounds a little bit more plausible that when he
Hmm.
jumped in and it was on and popped. And
Right.
when he came out, oh boy was unconscious. So, but again, these are answers that the lawyer is supposed to get. Now, see, here is where things get a little crazy. Because there's still more research to do, but I got some other people that have now come into my inbox that I want to talk to, and I'll be working with some more people behind the scenes. But one of the things that we want to look into is we want to look into the relationship between the Shafers and the Dobbins. I did a little Googling a minute ago, and Google messed up, I believe, and tried to make me think that the deputy coroner, Elizabeth Dobbins, is married to a black man. I highly think that is likely. So we're gonna have to look to go a different route. Um, but I think there is some political connections possibly that just haven't registered, and I think because of that, and this is just me talking. And let me get a disclaimer: this is all my opinion and nobody else's opinion. I'm speaking for myself and not the audience involved. But that is something about that connection make me feel like that was the reason that Representative Marvin Pendarvis had to step up and say, look, do it and do it right. I think maybe he may see something or know something or have heard something. And it probably made him feel like if I step up and let them know I'm looking and I'm watching and I expect y'all to do the right thing, that maybe, they're going to do the right thing. But if not, we're going to put whatever we know out in the atmosphere and turn the file up on high. Because Josh Shafer allegedly was on the boat as well. So, I mean, right now, with the information that's been brought to us, alleged, hearsay, whatever the case may be, I smell motive all over like a dead skunk in the road. I smell motive from the driver of the boat all the way over to the person that jumped in the water. Now, that's something else I have not saw any reports on. Who jumped in the water?
Why couldn't they get him out of the water? Why did they leave him in the water?
Right. For 3 hours.
Yeah. That's the main question. I mean, if he went into the water, okay. Conscious, unconscious, well, but
get him out.
Why did they leave him in the water? Why couldn't they get him out of the water?
Mm-hmm.
All boats were, depending on the kind of boat it was, and I'm very interested to find out what kind of a boat it was, what safety equipment the boat has on it, because normally if you're out at sea, you have to have emergency gear, first aid, a life raft or a life preserver of some kind tied to a rope in the event someone does go overboard. All kinds of things for safety reasons, just like when people drive cars. You buckle up. You make sure your mirrors are adjusted. You make sure that you're in good standing with a vehicle that's in motion. So the captain of the ship should have, if it's a licensed ship, if it's a chartered ship, if this guy was hired by the group that took that boat out, what was the trip for? Who hired the charter of the boat? Who was the captain of the boat? And why didn't the captain make sure that if Elijah did go into the water, why didn't the captain make sure that one of his passengers that's in the water wasn't taken out of that water? Why was he left in the water? These are my questions.
And see, my conspiracy theory grows out of control because we already have people all over the world who feel like, it's okay. I can do this. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. This, we the right shade. We can do whatever we want to do. And you got the driver of the boat who didn't have any moral or ethical standards to call 911 as soon as possible. We have the driver of the boat that made no attempt to jump in the water and save him. I didn't see anywhere, and there's still stuff to look up, where he made a statement about anything. So when I put the owner of the boat and the 7 white kids together, again, I smell motive. I smell a whole setup. Now, Diva says, and I seen a report somewhere about a girl cutting her foot and they went to get her help instead of helping him. Exactly. I did hear that when the boat got back to dock, because allegedly somebody on land saw homie go in the water and never saw him come out. Somehow, allegedly, they were still on land when the boat returned. Allegedly, they were still right there on land when they say did y'all get the boy out the water? But somehow the whole time they was on land witnessing everything, nobody bothered to dial 911. They waited on the boat to come back and ask them, did they call 911? And the kids replied, we didn't know. We got to get our friend to the hospital because she cut her foot on the anchor. Really? Huh.
Yeah.
The police report should show some evidence of the physical and mental conditions of the kids. Did you smell alcohol? Did you smell reefer? Was anybody high under the influence? Did what happened to the girl that cut her foot, by the way, on the anchor? Did she escape questioning by getting in an ambulance, getting in a car, and getting driven to the emergency room? Did anybody question? I mean, there's so many questions. And for the attorney to be dragging his feet and us now seeing several clues that tells us there is a race line, a race barrier, a race boundary somewhere in South Carolina between Mount Pleasant and wherever they were at. I'm very uncomfortable in saying that. I think, the family's definitely up for a fight. But at the end of the day, if they are not able to get the answers necessary for criminal prosecution, I absolutely pray to God that they file a civil suit against the driver of that boat. You gonna talk by choice or by force. I hope they sue him for not doing his due diligence as the captain of that vessel. Is that an option, John?
Yeah, I'm very interested in any kind of statements that were taken by police of all of the party members that were on that boat. I am very interested in the toxicology report as to the biological condition of Elijah. At that time, what was in his system, if anything, at that time. And once again, what important role did the captain of the ship play in? How was he hired? What was the trip all about? You see, whether that could have been a relative, the captain could have been a relative. Who knows? The captain could have been connected by relation to someone that was on that boat. Who knows? And so with the police reports or any statements or interviews that were given, whether out of cursory or out of warranted the situation, I would most certainly want to know what each party member said that occurred when this event happened to Elijah. Because once you've established that foundation, then you can start to put together the pieces of continuous action as to how everyone else is behaving around the case. You see?
Okay, now you just said, go ahead.
Yeah. So there, I mean, because it all goes to timeline. Who did what, when, and at what time did it occur? You see? And because once you draw together the timeline and the events that occurred, then it's going to stand to reason, under logical sense, it's going to stand to reason as to whether this thing happened the way it did or whether this thing has still got holes in it. You see?
Now, you said something very interesting just then. You said something along the lines that we needed the answer to establish the timeline or something along the lines.
Yeah, we need their statements as to when it happened, how it happened. Is the captain related to anyone on the boat? Are there relationships on the boat? That should come out, and all of this should basically be in the attorney's hands right now as we speak. He should already have this information right now, and if he doesn't, he should do his due diligence and pick up the phone tomorrow and get this information sent over to his office.
Now,
Absolutely.
and I'm not an attorney. I don't have any I don't have any legal education. I've worked in attorney's offices, but here, see, for me, and again, I'm not legal, but for me, just just the fact that you had a fight with Josh Shafer, Josh lost, you won, you got invited on the boat with Josh and company. Something happened on the boat between him and Josh and company. He went over, never came up for 3 days later. And Josh and company not only did not do the right thing based on the timeline of events, but that driver of that boat, I'm very, very interested in because I can't find no record of him or that boat anywhere. In all of the blogs, I've been looking all over South Charleston and South Carolina and AW County or whatever the word is, Avendra County or whatever. I can't find no record of him in that boat.
All right, let me ask this. At the time of the incident, what day did this incident occur? What day was Josh on that boat? What was the
It
date?
was it was June 25th, and I can look up what date that fell on.
Okay. Okay, June 25th. And what was the date of the first report to the police? Or when was that first 911 call made? Because that right there is going to tell us what kind of a timeline this is. Because once we know that, then we know if this took too long, way too long, in reference to any kind of ulterior motive, or people behaved in a natural sense and sequence to the events that happened. Now, I am in no way. Now, let me make a disclaimer, to your chat room. I am in no way, shape, or form involved in law enforcement. I'm in no way, shape, or form involved in the medical field. However, I have done a private, independent personal investigation on the Kanika Jenkins case. So I am aware of what an autopsy report and toxicology report is and how the information is written, as well as have reviewed the Rosemont Police Department's police statements involving the case, as well as the crime scene photos and statements that were made during the course of that case. And I've been studying that case for the last 2.5 years, going on 3. And so I'm quite familiar with a protocol when it comes to an event like this. And I guess this is the reason why Miss BBK brought me on board to take a look at some information regarding this case, because right off the bat, it's not sounding solid.
Right. It says that he went over at 10:17, but the WCBD said they got a call at 11. Now, I don't know where that
10,
was
10:17
alleged.
at 10:17 at night, or 10:17 during the morning?
PM.
Oh, this is nighttime.
This is
Okay.
nighttime. Right. So that 3-hour window, I don't know where that 3-hour window came from unless he went over at 7 and they didn't call until 10:17/11.
Mm-hmm.
Coast Guard got there around the midnight hour and started searching. That's why I said they were searching in the waking hour, black at night, but deep black underwater.
Right. Now
No matter how good their flashlights are. Right.
Right. Now we're starting to put together a vivid picture as to what this event looked like. Now, since you said it happened at night, we know that, if you're out at sea, or even if it's a river, the light density is extremely, if anything, the visibility is down to 0, especially if you're in deep water. So yeah, flashlights, some kind of a spotlight had to be used. and hence the reason, if the Coast Guard was there or involved in any way, shape, or form, yeah, they were using spotlights to try to spot him. So if they spent 3 hours looking, independently before a 911 call was made, we still need to ask the question as to why they waited so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I did get a picture. I don't know why it won't come up. Here, let me click. Maybe I need always thinking. Okay, so this this is a joke to me.
Right.
But we want to look at it. This is the boat allegedly that was searching for him. Now this boat is in
Blow
broad.
that up. Blow that up if you can, if you could. Oh Lord.
This is the boat that was searching for him. Now, allegedly, this is the boat that was searching for him. What I find odd is, number one, this is broad daylight. I know damn well y'all wasn't out there from the weekend hour all the way over into the daytime, because one of my reports said that they searched for a few hours and they left. I did not find any report that the 28th was on a Sunday, 27th, Sunday, 26th, Friday. So we're talking about Thursday night. I show no reports anywhere that they went back out Friday. I don't find any reports they went back out on Saturday. I don't show any reports they went back out on Sunday. What I did find was that Nicole and her people on Sunday morning found the body and made the phone call at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. And they called, and it took the search and rescue of that particular parish more than 20 minutes to get there. And when the water started washing the body out, they had to call back and say, hurry up. At which time, by the time 911 get here, guess what? They got to call the Coast Guard to come back. Because
Right.
it's in the water. It's out of their jurisdiction now. They can't go out there and get them.
Yeah, which brings you to another critical question. Why did these folks leave the scene of an accident at the time this happened? That's like two cars get into an accident on the road. You just don't pick up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so that poses the question right there. Why did they leave the scene? Why didn't they stay there, summon authorities about a missing person that's overboard, and stay there? At least it would have given them a very good, strong indication as to the area or body of water
Right.
that they were in, pertaining to any kind of search that they could have been, involved with at that time. By leaving the scene, they just opened up the door to nothing.
The motive.
They opened the door to nothing.
Motive.
Now it's just, he said, she said, they said, we said, they didn't say, we didn't say.
Right.
In this case.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if y'all out there at midnight 30 to 3 or 4 in the morning in pitch black dark, they have no idea where you were. If you had, like you said, if you had stayed where you were, they had a generalized area. And if they were out there for a couple of hours in that generalized area, I'm willing to bet a whole paycheck they'd have found the body that morning.
Yeah. Why did the captain leave that area?
And now I'm seeing Connect say that they can't get the toxicology report for some reason, and the dumbass lawyers not put a request for any 911 calls. This is all racist ass part of South Carolina, and this case is being passed around like a hot potato. Yeah. So, I understand, the family it's no way the family can be happy with the lack of results that they're getting. And maybe you want to just make a phone call down at a Representative Marvin Pendarvis's office and say, look, man, we need some help. ABC 123. What can you got? Any recommendations? Can you help? What can you do to help us, please? maybe that's the route you need to go. Because I read somewhere, and I'm not sure if I have a receipt. I got so many receipts. I tried to put titles on them that would jump out to me. But maybe the ACLU need to become involved. But I want to show you something else, and I hope this doesn't trigger anybody.
Yeah, the family needs an update from their current attorney that's handling this case right now. They need to request an update.
Yeah. Now this is a letter, allegedly, or you see, this is not. Well, this is something I think they put on the not change.org, on the I think this went on the GoFundMe, either the GoFundMe or the change.org. And this allegedly is from his mom. It says, "Justice for Elijah Weatherspoon. My son went on a boat ride with people he believed to be his friends. My son was the only one who didn't return home that night. The video here is of the last time he was seen alive. He was buried in a closed casket while the monsters that let him die called me an unfit parent. His life mattered, and I deserve to know why they waited 4 hours to call me and tell my son was at the bottom of the Cooper River in South Carolina. They corroborated stories thinking I wouldn't question a fight for my son. South Carolina Department of Natural Resources wanted an open and closed case by taking the stories of liars. I cannot give up. This isn't just my son being overlooked in South Carolina. This is for every person that has any melanin in their skin other than fair. We are treated less than human. We are classified as disposable. We are overlooked as inferior and segregated by our appearance. We cannot allow this type of despicable abuse of power to continue for future generations. Son, I love you." Now, I felt that down in my spirit. She's very hurt. And nothing can be more devastating when you lose a loved one than to find out the people that's supposed to be helping you figure out who's at fault to act like they just don't give a damn. That is the most painful thing you could go through. And I haven't lost a child, so I can only imagine. Who is the
And
lawyer?
Mhm.
I got the lawyer's information. Hang on. I got the lawyer's information. Hold on. I got his information. I'm gonna put the judge's information up too while I'm at it. Let me see. I got so much. Oh my God, I got so much over here. So I gotta go through. Okay, that was that one.
And in addition to that, the family should also find out if Elijah's organs were intact body.
Ooh, why is that, John? Ooh, it gave me chills.
Because
What?
for them to have a closed casket ceremony or funeral and whatnot, what says anything between the medical examiner's office and the funeral home if his organs were intact? So we need to find that out as well.
That's powerful. Now, here is the alleged attorney, Javeron D. Buckley Sr. Now, y'all, I'm finna do it again. I'm going back down the rabbit hole. Buckle up. Senior mean you the daddy of somebody that is a junior. That means you got a lot more experience. You got a lot more connections. You have a lot more umph about yourself. According to this form, you specialize in civil rights, criminal defense, DUI, expungement, family, etc., and etc. We're in need of civil rights, criminal defense, and life and family assistance. And this is the best you can do. What is that? Okay. Please contact. Okay, now this came from a Facebook saying Justice for Elijah. If you have any information or looking to speak with the family, please contact their attorney first. Let me tell you what I see wrong with this. You got an attorney already ain't giving what he's supposed to give to the family. Now you want somebody with some good intel to go give it to him? I mean, you don't have a choice. He represents you. So this is legal protocol, if I'm using the right word. This is the proper channels to go through, is to go through the lawyer. But now, if everybody's going to give everything to the attorney, if something should happen, John, between now and the next 6 months with this family and this attorney, and their relationship should be broken, entangled, or terminated, is the family, do they have rights to the information, all information that attorney collected on their behalf?
That's a very good question. I believe the attorneys, if they have to select another attorney to request this information from a past attorney, some of them work that way. I'm not sure. Others would, try to, start from scratch, get the police reports, any statements made, review the autopsy, toxicology report, any crime scene photos of the boat that they took out to the water, check the boat for all safety protocols to make sure that the boat wasn't in violation of any kind of safety issues. So there's a lot to look at, in terms of this case, why they even took the boat out anyway. What was the reason, they took a boat out rather than, get together, on land someplace. So there's a lot of, questions that this case is, bringing to the forefront that need to be answered right away. And with this attorney that you're putting in the presentation tonight, the attorney needs to give the family an update ASAP. Where do we stand right now? What do we have in right now? What is our next step right now?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the toxicology report? Is it done? If it's not done, when will it be done?
Mm-hmm.
You see? All
Now,
that.
John,
So, all that before they make a decision to do anything else, and especially to find out if Elijah's organs were intact during the commute from the medical examiner's office to the funeral home. But remember, they had a closed casket.
now y'all don't judge me. I'm finna ask me what may be a stupid question. Enlighten me though, John. What picture is painted if his organs weren't intact?
And the autopsy report should at least give a description as to what they found, what they retained, if anything, because in the Kanika Jenkins case, the medical examiner who performed the autopsy, which was a trainee at the time, because she was a fellow who performed the autopsy for the medical examiner's office, did state that there were organs retained in the autopsy. And this was in the pathological findings pertaining to that autopsy. I found that very shocking. And so it would be very interesting to obtain this autopsy, if we could get it to review it, to make sure that the medical examination on Elijah's person at the time was conducted, correctly. Body temperature, weight of the body, stomach contents, blood analysis, toxicology, when they sent that out, who did the toxicology, when did it come back, everything, and who signed off on what. And so this is very critical. We're at a very critical point right now to where this information should be on the table, for the family, so that this way they know how to proceed if they need to proceed doing anything at this point. Right now, with the way the story is unfolding, the family needs to get on their toes, as best as they can. It's an emotional time. Yes. They lost a loved one. Yes. The loved one is not coming back. The loved one lost a family too. And this is the reason why we need answers. Closure. Closure for the family is important at this point. And this is the reason why, I highly, keep emphasizing they need to get all of this information on the table. I am in full agreement with you. The autopsy, toxicology, police reports, witness statements, pictures of the boat that was taken out. We need to identify the captain, any relations to the people on the boat, any relations to anyone that's touched Elijah until he went to the ground.
Now, I'm fixing to ask you a tricky question. And again, if you don't want to answer it, it's all right with me. But I want to, and you know me, I go down these rabbit holes, and sometimes I need help getting out, and I think I'm stuck in one right now. But I look at this post that was put up on Facebook, and it gives the officer heading up the case as a Captain Robert McCullough. Now, when I first saw this picture, I thought this was the captain at the police station. That's what I thought. Hey, I don't get in trouble, so I don't know.
Right.
But as I look at this email address, I get chills. Because not only does his email address identify him as an employee of the DNR, better known as Department of Natural Resources, but homie got a GOV on the end, John.
Yeah, so you've got a federal application there.
John.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going.
I'm scared to even say it. I'm scared to even say it.
Yeah, well, I mean, hold off. We don't. It is very shocking to see that. Just the way it's posted right there, and so it's telling us that there are some connections here. There are some dots that need to be connected here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a very good post. Thank you for putting that up.
Oh yeah, well I tell you, honey, I tell y'all all the time. Sometimes I fall down the rabbit hole, sometimes I jump. But either way, so now I feel like we need to troll Buckley. Now I feel like we need to put some rich trolling time for Senior Buckley. Because homie, you gonna need to poop or get off the pot. Pick one and pick it quick. Because in 30 days, bro, I don't know if you getting paid or not, but you are undeserving of any money that you've received, from retainer fees to phone call expenses, email expenses, gas expenses, lunch expenses. Because lawyers bill for everything. They bill for picking up a pen, an email, a phone call, a letter, a memo, a draft of a motion. They charge for everything. I don't know if he's getting paid or not, but if he is, he's undeserving of one dime. Now, this right here made the pause for a minute right here.
Yeah. And also too, you bring up a very good point. The current attorney, excuse me, the current attorney would basically, have to come to an understanding and an agreement with the family as to how the attorney has been retained. Are they doing this pro bono? Are they doing this on a contingency? Most personal injury attorneys handle cases on contingency, meaning that once they win for their client, then they're paid. So we need to find out from regarding their attorney right now that's handling the case, if he's on a retainer, if the family is in a financial position to actually hire this attorney. We don't know if there's a financial means up front that may be preventing this from moving forward as well. You see, so and only the family would know that information as to how this attorney has been retained to actually take on this case. And that's critically important too. Timeline as this case unfolds. So that might tell us a bigger picture as to the reasons why this case is the way it is right now on the table.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, so this part I am going to speak on very delicately. So now I think I just found the answer to my question as to why Representative Pendarvis stepped in. Because he's sitting on the same level as the DNR. I think he knows there was not only a race barrier at Mount Pleasant, but it's one right here on the political level as well. Wow. Yeah, you're right, John. I mean, you have given us nothing but truth and fact. I hope the family is listening. Of course, I'm gonna leave this video up. I'm gonna try to edit the first part. It was acting up, but if it don't edit right, child, it is what it is. Right, Gina, expose time. Oh yeah. Hopefully he's hang on. Hopefully he isn't pro bono, but the way the lawyer is moving, it appears he just wants a settlement. You really think that expose time? I don't think he's interested in anything in terms of this case. And this is just my opinion. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. I don't think he's interested in any resolve whatsoever. Homeboy, let me tell you something. Wait a minute, let me go back and look at what you said. Hang on. Did I delete it? What did I do with it? Is this it? Okay. You said he appears he just wants a settlement. Expose time. I hear what you're saying, but he ain't even going in the right direction for a settlement, because you can't get a settlement until you've proven malfeasance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And John, you jump in now anytime. They can't sue the police station. Well, the police station is what it is. You can't sue them because they're not on the table. You've not even identified who is on the table to even point a finger at fault. The only person right now, in my opinion, and again, jump pigback, the only person you can even think about wasting $1 on to file a civil charge on will be the driver of the boat. And that's pushing. Now, I don't know if you can do anything civil when a criminal situation hasn't even been activated. Because see, right now, there's nothing criminal that's been activated about this in writing, if I'm saying it right. No charges, no foul play. They said it was an accidental drowning by asphyxiation due to drowning. The police done put this, not the police, I'm sorry. The medical examiner done put it as an accident. So nobody said foul play. So there's no settlement to be gotten because
there's no lawsuit.
There's
no lawsuit at this time for a settlement to take place. The case is still being investigated at this point. The family is still obtaining information as to the cause of death from the medical examiner and the toxicology report, which they're still waiting for at this point. So without any of that information, you couldn't deem anything in terms of any kind of lawsuit against someone until all the facts of that, come out of the investigation. So I totally agree with you, BBK.
Now, if you want to be street about it, if you want to be hood about it, if we wanted to color outside the lines, then what we could do is go climb to the top of the mountain with a megaphone and start yelling out into the streets. Josh, you just mad because you got beat down. You and your friends, y'all did it to Nikki on purpose. Y'all did this. Y'all did this. And y'all start sicking the masses on Josh. then yeah, somebody might offer you a couple of dollars to shut up, be quiet. Or you could mess around and cause a lawsuit to be filed on you for defamation or slander or whatever the term is for that. You falsely accuse somebody with no proof and no evidence. But I mean, hey, a protest is a protest, Anger's anger, fighting is fighting. I mean, if the whole wide world knew he got beat down and that y'all felt it was retaliation, if there is some true political connections behind the scene, I would tend to think somebody gonna want y'all to shut up. Now, how they gonna get you to shut up is either by check or by wreck. You feel me?
Mm.
They can either offer you a few dollars, or you could fall off the next boat, or you could be hit by an 18-wheeler, or you could get salmonella poisoning from the catfish that y'all picked up down the road. I mean, it's the
This by all means is all allegedly.
all alleged. Thank you, John. All alleged.
But
So,
yeah, the family has got an uphill climb. I'm very interested to find out how this attorney is moving forward. Once again, I can't overstate this enough. The family needs an update from this attorney ASAP this week, either by phone or person-to-person consultation as to where they are, what they have, and what their next step is. It's either pass or play.
yes,
Pass or play, because as we go into a new month, August, they should be able to have at least enough information as to telling them what the next step is.
absolutely.
By all means, it's well over 30 days now since this.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the 25th when it happened and the 28th when they found the body. So, yeah, it's definitely 30 days from the day of his missing, and Tuesday will be 30 days from the day from when they found him.
hmm
And then the autopsy was released on July the 6th. So in a week will be 30 days from the day the autopsy was released. So it's really getting it's way past due. And I'll say this again to the family: if you're here and listening, and if not, please pass this on. I highly recommend. I know the family is grieving, they're mourning, they're trying to understand, they're trying to get closure. I understand that emotions are running wild, and I understand that everything is being handled with the attorney from the mom. Hear me and hear me well. I am sure at this juncture, mom is not in a very good place emotionally or mentally. And I highly recommend mom do not have any conversations with the attorney or anybody else in an official capacity by herself. Okay. It needs to be another adult there with her. And if there is another teenager there, hit the record on your phone, homie, and lay it right there on the table or right there on the thing next to him. Mom does not need to be alone, because see, when you are in a very emotional state, sometimes we don't think good. The first thing come to mind, the first thing we say. Sometimes we just want to just do whatever you got to do. Just go. We really don't mean that, because see, we really don't understand everything that it is that you think you need to do. So, y'all, make sure you watch out for mom. Stay close to her, have her back. Make sure that there is somebody that can ask the questions, the who, the what, when, where, and how, when an attorney is having a conversation with her. Make sure when he tells her something, or if she say, can I have a toxicology report? And they say, no, you cannot. Make sure somebody say, why not? Because if they told the attorney that he cannot have one, they absolutely told him why he cannot have one. And that information should be communicated with the mother.
absolutely.
If the attorney tells the mother he was unable by law and his legal representation, that he is unable to get anything necessary and related to this case he definitely better give mama an answer as to why he couldn't and what is he doing about it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So this is a mini series. We're gonna keep you updated. I also have another young lady whose body was found the day after Nikki went missing. Her name is Gloria Bambo. She's an African American queen. I got a list of about 15 sisters and brothers that fit this particular situation. A different time, different place, different group of people, but pretty much all the same. They all of the black ethnicity or dark brown ethnicity. And everything's been kind of brushed off. Oh, accidental. Oh, it's suicide. Oh, yeah, she got shot in the back of the head. Oh, yeah, it's a suicide. Yeah, okay. We found her hanging. Oh, yeah, it was a suicide. No, she was hanging at the park and down on the tree, hanging from a tree. Oh, yeah, it was suicide. Yeah, they just brushing them off. And I need everybody to remember we are in a very desperate time right now. And I say that because Killer Pete has changed the game. And I've told you once, from the time March 13th that Trump, otherwise known as Cheeto Head, declared a national emergency, FEMA stepped in and took over, and we really don't have no rights. Now that Killer Pete is killing us off, everything is shutting down. They're trying to force the kids back into school, and guess what? Ain't no judges going to work. So if you go to jail, you in jail until they decide to let you out. You're not going to bail out Monday morning because ain't no judge coming to court. If you go to the hospital, no family will be able to visit you because Killer Pete, COVID is running rampant. So you have to be very careful how you move, what predicaments you put yourself into, and how it's going to affect your life and your future. Because if you go to jail with the rest of the other 132 people, I guarantee you, when you come out, you're probably going to test positive. And that's just the lesser of the three evils. So we just keep praying for the family. Y'all stay close. Make sure that give them as much emotional support as you can. Be careful protesting because the paramilitary now are being released in all states and cities. Even though Portland, Oregon won their motion by the United States, I want to say Supreme Court, to clear those camouflage boys jumping out the family van, abducting people. They got a judge ordered. They got an order from the judge for those people to be pulled back up out of Oregon. They still in there, so we don't know when they're gonna be pulled out. But the judge has already ordered it to be so. So that's not stopping them from going into other cities and states. So just be careful. Anthony says same as for insurance policies too. This is a classic case. No hurt, no foul, accidental death, and with no cause. You see it in a lot of small towns. One person of color found dead. So what does that mean, Anthony? The insurance companies won't pay out? Is that what you're saying? Also, if you get locked up by Fed agencies now with or without cause, they can hold you. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, our constitutional rights now are null and void when FEMA's in charge. That's how FEMA's able to intercept vital PPE equipment off the railways, the waterways, the trains, the planes, and things. They can go snatch them up, go put them in one of 6 secret warehouses that they got all over the United States, even though that equipment was bought and paid for by A, B, and Z. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate you guys' support. Again, this will be a mini series. We're going to keep you up to date on a lot of this that's going on, and hopefully we can all be educated in the do's and the don'ts and the questions that should be asked and what to look out for if this situation should happen to you or yours. John QQ, hail to John QQ. Much love to you, brother. I appreciate you. You always come through and abide. You always show up right on time, and you always bring the heat. And for that, I will forever be grateful. You got anything you want to add?
Well, once again, I ditto every word you said in reference to the family support. The family does need the support right now. It is an emotional time. It will be for quite some time, along with all of the other things that are happening, around the country, in and out of state, and in and out of the locality of the cities. But yeah, once again, my heart goes out to the family. I'm a father, uh, two daughters. They have, children of their own, so that makes me a grandparent. And it's a very sensitive situation when it comes to, you know, any member of anyone's family losing a family member, especially if it's a child, a
Mhm.
son, a daughter. And for us to see this on a magnanimous level, especially now with everything going on, it really questions the fact of, are we still on planet Earth, or is this changing into something else? But
Right.
far none and far and less, my heart goes out to the family, and the family should take steps to contact the attorney and just ask some basic questions as to where do we stand, where do we go, where do we stand, where do we go, and
Yes.
everything should unfold as it should in this case, in this particular case. But thank you so much for having me on. Um,
Absolutely.
and anytime you need me for anything, you know how to get to me.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows how to get to John Q. So
Yes, sir.
Um, I'm here for justice. I'm here
Yes,
for the
sir.
support of justice, and to make sure that families get the proper closure, as much information as I can support as possible.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, King. Thank you again, audience, for coming. I appreciate you guys so much. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I'll catch y'all on these YouTube streets later. Take care.